setting and respecting boundaries is essential for integrity, right? Being clear about what works for you and standing firm on those boundaries. Let me finish. Standing firm on those boundaries, even if it means facing discomfort or conflict, right? You're going to have to stand and enforce what those boundaries are. And boundaries, again, are essential for integrity because boundaries set up the lines in the fence and lets people know what is okay and what is not okay, right? So I heard a quote about boundaries and it actually said this: boundaries, I thought it was really good. It said, boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me at the same time. I think it was like Prentice Hemp Hill or something like that. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me at the same time. So when we think about boundaries, that's what I want you to think about. I am setting these guidelines up so that I can continue to love you and love myself. I don't want to sound all love yourself or whatever, but I can operate with who I am and I can operate with who you are. And at this distance, here's what I need to know at this distance. And I think when we think about what healthy boundaries look like, I think about, for me, just for Josh, I think about my wife. I remember when we were dating, right? I think she was really good at setting boundaries. Let me tell you why. I am a debater. I like to debate. I like to throw ideas up there and talk about it. And this is my perspective, and this is what we do, and go back and forth and all of that stuff. So I remember early on we were dating. We had a conversation and we were talking about something, and I went and I made my point. And then she responded back and gave her words. Josh, I think this, and this, and whatever. And then I proceeded to go back in. And I go back in and I'm making my points and I'm really digging in. And I'm just like, it was funny because after a little while, I'm listening, I'm looking, I'm listening, I'm getting no response. I'm just like, oh, like she's getting she's tracking with what I'm saying. Let me keep going. So I'm going and I'm making more points and because of this and that and this and that. And by the time I was done, I was just like, I've got her. She's converted to my side of the argument. She opens her mouth and she proceeds to say, okay, I'm not debating you. I was so hot in that moment. I think she's just like, I'm not debating you. Like you can think what you think. You can have your thought. You can, whatever the case may be. That's fine. Like I'm not debating you. And here's what she essentially was saying. She was essentially saying, this is my boundary. Like you can do that. You can say what you're going to say, but I am not going to go back and forth with you. Right. I am going to state where I stand, and you can state and say what you want. But like what I am not doing is I am not debating and going back and forth. And I know I use that, and that's kind of a silly illustration, but that is a form of boundaries, knowing how you will respond, knowing what you're willing to give to the situation in the space that you need from someone else, right? So being clear about what is acceptable to you and standing firm on those boundaries is essential. Very, very, very important when it comes to practicing integrity.